What was meant to be a fun day out for a group of friends at Disney World would eventually turn to tragedy after riding Splash Mountain. One man, after becoming ill halfway through the ride, decided to step off and search for an exit. However, a slip of the foot would set off a chain of events that would ultimately cost him his life. This is the story of the Disney World Splash Mountain tragedy. As the old saying goes, Disneyland, or Disney World, is said to be the happiest place on Earth. And for the vast majority of the 150 million guests that visit any of the 12 Disney-themed parks around the world annually, the saying might just be true. For those who break the rules or ignore safety instructions, however, the happiest place on Earth might just become their last place on Earth. Splash Mountain is a river log ride at Disneyland, Disneyland Tokyo, and Disney World Resort in Florida. Based on the animated sequence of the 1946 Disney film Song of the South, each version of the ride begins with a peaceful outdoor section that leads to a darker indoor segment, with a climatic drop where the rider is almost sure to get wet. While the 52-foot drop section can reach speeds up to 45 miles or 72 kilometers per hour, the rest of the ride is a very much family-friendly, almost leisurely pace, making the ride an unlikely candidate for an unfortunate accident. On Sunday the 5th of November in the year 2000, 37-year-old William Pollock visited Magic Kingdom at Disney World Resort in Florida. Accompanying him that day was 38-year-old roommate Christopher McMillan and friend 51-year-old Thomas Riley. First opened in 1971, Disney World Resort is the second oldest of all the Disney-themed theme parks. Shortly before 2 p.m, the trio decided to ride Splash Mountain. Opened in 1992, Splash Mountain at Disney World is the third version of the ride, opening just a single day after the one in Tokyo. Riders take their seats in one of the 8 log-shaped boats, each carrying 8 passengers. Pollock sat in the back of his boat, while his friends rode separately a few logs behind. Owing to the mostly lackadaisical nature of the ride, there were no seat restraints to hold riders in, meaning theoretically, a rider could hop out at any time if they were so inclined to do so. While the initial first few minutes of the ride went smoothly, later reports by riders in the same boat said Pollock began holding his chest midway through the ride. As the boat reached the Brer Rabbit patch partway through the tunnel, Pollock jumped out, complaining he was sick. Now standing alongside the ride props, riders in the boat behind mistook him for a cast member. As his roommate and friends passed by a few logs later, he confirmed to them he was sick and would try find an exit. They acknowledged and carried on their ride. Pollock, still standing among the animatronics, spotted an exit on the far side of the water. When a passing log stopped near him, he attempted to use it to step across. However, as he climbed on top, the ride began to move again. He lost his footing and fell into the water. Brian Johnson, seated in the boat behind, described what happened next. The ride started moving again. He slipped and went to the left side of our boat and got wedged between the wall. It packed him in so tight, I don't think he could breathe. This started a chain reaction, and all the boats behind began to pile up. The screams and shouts from onlookers caught the attention of ride operators, who swiftly stopped the carnage. Suffering severe blunt force trauma to his chest, 37-year-old William Pollock was rushed to hospital, where, according to a park spokeswoman, became the first person to die in a ride-related accident at Disney World in Florida. In the aftermath of the accident, Disney World closed the ride pending a safety inspection. As the ride itself was not at fault, it was reopened the following day. Coming just 6 weeks after 4-year-old Brandon Zucker was critically injured on the Roger Rabbit ride at Disneyland, the accident renewed debate among safety experts regarding the use of seat restraints on slower rides. Ken Martin, a ride safety consultant from Virginia, said this in response to the accident. "I've said for years, with these types of rides, there needs to be some type of restraining system that pretty much assures that the patron is in their seat. You can't assume anything in this business. Not everyone agrees, however, saying riders should use common sense. Steve Baker, a former Disney executive, said in response, "You can't legislate stupidity." Whether needed or not, Splash Mountain in Tokyo and Disney World would eventually receive a lap bar restraint system.